Hello, Croeso, and welcome to another scuffed episode of Esports Wales Weekly, where just as we start, people start coughing because the Rona is still prevalent. But that's okay, chat, because we're here, your guides, your fearless leaders, your lights in the dark, to take you through another week of Esports Wales. Everything to do with esports, both within Esports Wales community and the wider university and college community. Today, as always, I am joined by the weak-lunged Gizmo. How are you doing, Giz?
That's just unfair. Okay, there's no need to attack my lungs. Okay, they may be suffering, but they're doing their job. Okay, I'm sorry.
They're weak and understated, but I'll tell you what else that isn't understated and who isn't weak. We've got some fantastic guests with us today, some champions, some winners, not like you. People who can actually play video games and do well at them. First and foremost,
strong words.
We have someone who a lot of our viewers will probably have seen and heard before, both on the YouTube channel and live on Twitch. Unfortunately, often accompanied by my idiot co-host, but
tell me about it.
Other than that,
it's copied by Sports Direct mug as well.
Exactly, he's terrible. Yeah. But we have Brett. Brett, give a quick introduction to yourself, my friend.
Hi, I'm Brett. I'm a student at Aberystwyth for psychology, and I'm the general manager for League of Legends at Esports Wales.
So the man in the know.
Yes.
And
he pretends, and it works out. So
look, confidence is more important than knowledge, in my opinion.
Yeah, fake it till you make it. That's kind of my philosophy. Yeah,
exactly. And to prove that point, Giz, why don't you speak next? Who else we got with us, man?
Well, we have the top laner from the TAN team, which is constantly playing in the Valorant League. It's Zephyr. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Zephyr, and yeah, I play top lane for Esports Wales Team TAN. I've been through many of the Esports Wales teams over the past year, and I'm also kind of the guy who's more in the know than any of my teammates about future patches, what champion's going to be strong, what champion's going to be weak, and yeah, so I do quite a lot of the drafting for them as well.
Good to know.
We've got two fakers and an actual knowledgeable person. That's fine. We can manage that.
Hey, fake is pretty good, I hear.
I need to just point out, like, we've got a top laner in here, and we've stuck him in the bottom corner of the screen. Come on, production. We need more planning in the future. Come on. It's all good. But yeah, we got an interesting show. Going to be very LOL focused this week, seeing as how obviously we have this fantastic guest lineup, and I suppose Gizmo as well. And the team's been doing real well. We've got a little bit of information about the Union College results coming up. Obviously, the main topic, the main bulk of the show will be LOL focused. We have a Q&A section lined up, which will be awesome. News about a giveaway, and also news about a partnership of sorts between not just Esports Wales, but a number of the esports teams and the Welsh Government, of all things, for a apprenticeship scheme. But yeah, we'll get on to all that very shortly. First of all, how is everybody? We had a little chat before the show. One of us, not naming names, is a little under the weather at the moment, but I'm sure you're doing the best that you can.
That's just the typical Welsh weather. I don't know what the problem is. The weather here is fine, considering it's the Rona that's the issue.
Yeah.
But I don't go outside anyway. It's fine. What am I worried about?
Fantastic. But are you doing okay? Other than the recent diagnosis, you doing all right in and of yourself?
Yeah, no sweat with me. Perfectly happy. Just got to sit out for 14 days, no sweat.
Well, there's plenty of time to scrim and all the rest of it then, yeah?
Plenty of time to play.
Yeah, hopefully.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we got some improvement on Yard to do, so got 14 days to get cracking.
Fantastic. And how are you doing, Zeph? How's things?
Yeah, not too bad. So I ended up in London actually on the weekend and somehow didn't catch Corona. Both happy and sad about it. If I caught it, I don't have to go to uni for 2 weeks, but I guess I can't. We can't all lay about in our rooms and play League all the time. So
No,
What?
Yeah,
That's
definitely not. Couldn't be me.
couldn't be. There we go. Fantastic. Right. Well, I suppose we best jump in for a little bit of the news for the week. We will start off, I suppose, with a fantastic result from someone that we have with us today, with the results of Team Tan and Team Ablaze. I believe we have a graphics for that. Graphics beyond.
Oh,
Flame on.
That would have been a much better thing. Damn it! Edit it out. Edit me saying it. Flame on. They're not going to edit it. They'll just leave me hanging.
it's fine. It's fine. If it works, it works.
Yeah, fantastic win for Team Tan. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the game, Zeph? I actually didn't catch it myself. I feel awful about that, but I wasn't there for it.
Sure. So the only thing for game one especially, I have to say that the new objective bounties that they put into League are kind of stupid. Mars, our support, went onto we're being streamed on the Valorant servers. He went on there and said there was no doubt in his mind that he thought we were going to take the win, which is very confident from him. I was a little bit shaky myself, but through better macro play, we did manage to actually pick up a lot of these objective bounties. And I have to say that Sliney, our jungler, did a fantastic job. He actually stole, over the course of the series, 6 objectives, I think, from the enemy team. Absolutely fantastic. So we can always rely on that guy to show up when it matters.
Fantastic.
That's really insane to think of, because smite fights, that it's a 50-50 chance all the time, and to get those consistently is a pretty mental thing when they do rewards so heavily now, especially with these stupid bounty things. Oh, I hate them. So how did you find the games in general? Did you think that they were pretty easy in the end, or just you got through them and you got the wins that you wanted?
I wouldn't say that they were easy, but they definitely put up a fight. The fact that both games went 35 minutes or longer should be a telling sign that it wasn't easy. But I am really proud of the team in general. Like when we played last split back in October, November, we actually found that we were a very strong early game team, but our mid to late game needed work on closing out these games. We found, for some reason, we don't know why, this year we seem to be struggling and falling behind a little bit in the early game, but the mid game and late game has actually been very stellar, which has always allowed us to kind of pull back any goal deficits that we find ourselves in.
That's great to hear. I'm looking forward to casting and watching more of the games going forward. I don't think we don't actually have any of the school results for Team Yar, but I think we do have a player from Team Yar just up above me.
Yes.
So how did those games go?
Currently a bit of strength of schedule. We didn't get the most amount of practice in, because I think for our first split, since these are players that are new to playing really as 5-stack, that we're just going to take it casually and just get as many lessons as we can. If we can make playoffs, sure, why not? Let's go for it. There's no reason why we can't aim for that. We're currently in a fine position to do so. We're 1-2 against 2 of the stronger teams. And I think the game we won, we showed a lot of tenacity. And I think the team mental for that was the reason why. So I think going forward against teams that may be our level as well, we should be able to maybe outlast.
Okay, so a heavy amount of Merc treads on your team. Good to see. Good to see. Sorry, that was a league-based joke. You can see Tom's disdain.
Bring up the list. I can find this. What was that? Yep. How dare you? How dare you speak to me like I'm an idiot? I mean, I am. But specifically about this. So that's fantastic results there from the Esports Wales LOL teams. We also need to say we've got the proving grounds for both League and CS this week. And I believe this Saturday is the very exciting Rocket League tournament. The Apprenticeship Invitational, I believe, is the official name for it, which has got a number of teams taking part. I don't know if any of you guys follow the Rocket League scene, particularly the university scene at the moment, the college and university scene is doing real well, like just like knocking out the park in the student champs and just sort of in a number of other smaller tournaments. I believe we will have a bit of a local rivalry because I think the Llandrillo Dragons and the the GCS. I can speak. I can speak.
GS Owls.
The GCS Owls.
Strong lungs, by the way.
Strong lungs. Awful strong lungs. I don't have any words, but I've got strong lungs. I can't be accurate, but I can be loud, and that's all that counts. So both of those teams taking part, so that'll be interesting to see. So that's this Saturday, I believe. I'm not sure exactly at the time. I suspect we will have an announcement on the Esports Wales Twitter page. Yeah, so please go and follow Esports Wales on Twitter. There are a number of other teams. Swansea Uni, my alumni are taking part with Swansea GG, and another team called Two Potatoes One Pro, which is just, to me, is a phenomenal name for a Rocket League team. I believe those are all the announced teams at the moment. Oh, no. There's another college team, College Cigar. The GISGG team. So that's another team taking part. Other than that, we've got some more of these student champs coming up. I think the Owls are playing their matches today, I believe, later this evening. Again, Team 1 against Centurions and against Veritas St. Cats. So hopefully they'll take another clean sweep, because that's what they've been doing all last week, is just winning, like just full win. That's all it's been. It's actually kind of boring to report on, because it's just like, oh yeah, they won again. Didn't drop a game. Have fun with that. I mean, I think they're playing Overwatch as well today. They won all that last week. I think are they playing Coventry later? Possibly. They're playing Coventry later. Yeah. So yeah, all going well from the university side of things. Is there anything else that you've been keeping an eye on, Giz?
Well, I mean, we've got the return of League Pro play, but that's a bit hit and miss with some stuff. You've got Newell and NSC. I think have come back this week, maybe for University League tournaments. I think Cardiff is starting to do okay in that, which is pretty good. Other than that, I don't think there's much really, other than like the fact that we got Valorant League again tomorrow for Team Tan. I can't remember who we're playing against. Zephyr, I think, can fill us in on that. You confident, ready for the game tomorrow?
So we actually got a scrim tonight, which determines how we're going to play tomorrow, depending on performances and just how some of our strategies are going to go. But yeah, I'm feeling quite confident. It should be an exciting one to play and to watch as well. These are supposedly the best in the, or one of the best in the league that we're against tomorrow.
Oh, good. Sure, it'll be great games then. I think this show goes out on. This should be going out on Sunday, I think. So by then, I think we'll have the results. So we'll just record 2. We'll go. Congratulations, well done for the win.
Give me the best season, right?
Very much.
And then for the lost one.
Commiseration one.
Don't worry. You're scaling it. It's fine. Don't worry. It's fine. You did well. I'm sure it was a great game. You played really well. There you go. Top carried. There we go. Edit that in as needed. Yep. Edit that in.
Delete where applicable. None of that's going to happen. Nobody oversees us in any way, shape, or form. It's the Wild West out here, guys. So that's great. I suppose we should probably just push on to the main topic, which means that I can go and just leave you guys who actually know things talk about stuff. Obviously, with this episode mainly being focused around leagues, you want to take that away, Giz?
Well, I mean, you can read out the questions if you like, because I'm more than happy to give a hand answering them. But
we can run through some. There are I'm being flippant, but I am genuinely interested in a lot of the things that we're going to talk about. A couple of main topics that we were going to sort of cover. The main one being, because my background is Dota. Boo hiss, they all say, as I bring that up.
Terrible game.
I have experience with MOBAs and with the wider MOBA scene. I've played a little bit of Smite and and Hon and LOL.
Trash cans.
Yeah. But really, from my point of view, it's always been LOL and Dota have been like the pillars of the MOBA community. LOL's been around for 12 years now, which is just like super impressive that a game has stayed relevant for that and continued to stay relevant. There's been slight dips and peaks and troughs as
Heavy dips, yeah.
Well, as with everything, but I mean, over the course of 12 years to keep that fresh and to be going from strength to strength in the past year or two, I just wonder what your thoughts are on that, really, as of why the player base has remained comparatively so large to games like Smite and the others. Basically, I want to throw that over to Brett first of all, and then we'll ask Zephyr to see what you guys think.
Sure. So, funnily enough, I played Smite recently with friends, just because maybe we're getting a little tired with League, peaks and troughs. And some of the things Smite do are very good. You can buy all of the champions or all the characters for like £7 up front, and that continues going forward. So, new content is always given to you for free if you just open with £7. Which, to be fair, if you spend like a couple hours, £7, it goes a long way. The Pity League doesn't do that, but I think the issue Smite has is maybe the perspective or the fact that the community is small. The issue we had when we started playing is a lot of us had any decent experience with Smite. So we come into the game and the people that are playing it have been there for a long time. There's almost nobody else that's new. So it's kind of closed off to new players. And I know it comes up in the question later, but there's just about a turnover, at least in League of Legends, where there's new people coming in, right? Like you say, it's going from strength to strength. So obviously there must be new people coming in to the game, or at least in the viewership side. So I think maybe that's the issue with something like Smite. Something like Dota, I think maybe it's just the curve. Probably, yes, there are new people coming into Dota, but at least from my experience of playing Dota, the mechanics in League of Legends is a lot simpler. It's a lot stripped down, so you get a lot more satisfaction out of just being better because there's less getting in the way of that. It's just you get onto the rift, you play your game, and there's no micromanagement trying to get the pony to give you your items in the right space. There's no you can't hook your teammates or something, right? Granted, my experience with Dota is small, but having played League, the kind of jump from the mechanics is kind of bizarre to me.
And the mechanics now in Dota are so much more streamlined than they used to be, and it is still a mess. It is still a mess. The unique damage types that were available, like when I was in like the Dota beta patch, which I think it only technically left beta like a year ago. Like it's been in beta I was in the beta patch, and there was like unique attack modifiers that didn't interact with each other. And I remember playing one game where I picked the hero. I was like, "That's the one for me. Look at that bug go!" And I'm gonna get this thing that looks like a good item. A Desolator, for anyone was interested, and Desolator had a unique attack modifier, and the character had a unique attack modifier, which meant that I bought this like 4,000 gold item that did nothing because they didn't work together. But at no point anywhere does it explain anything like that. It's like, I'm going to turn this game off for a bit now. So there is that barrier of entry to things like Dota that I think LoL does a better job. And even like we're going to go on to talk about sort of the wider community aspects later on with things like Arcane. But remember, Dota did that as well and did not see the same success.
They did it as well, but not as well. Maybe is the way to put it. I haven't watched it. I didn't hear bad things about it, but it just wasn't very
care about it.
Yeah, it didn't translate, which is interesting, and we'll hopefully speak a little bit about that. Do you find that as well, Zeph? Do you think it is basically that LoL is more accessible because of the player base and the community around it?
Yeah, so I actually think that what Smite does well, it does very well. Even though it has a smaller community base, they can support many game modes because of the way they handle their queue timers and when you queue up for their game modes and things like that. But also it's kind of one of those things where like League can run on almost anything. Like we've all been sat in lobbies and loading screens on League of Legends. We've been sat there for like 3 minutes, like, oh, well, who's got the potato? But Mars has been, until he got his most recent laptop, he's been playing on 30 FPS. And he's been, for like the last 5 years, his laptop is terrible. But it runs, and Smite doesn't really have that. If you don't have a good computer, it doesn't run.
Yeah.
And sadly, I don't think their console launch kind of helped with their numbers that much either. In terms of Dota, I actually really like Dota. I've played Dota 2 quite a long time ago, but it never stuck just because League was the one I learned. So League was the one I stayed with. And in terms of learning and getting into them, League was just so much easier than Dota for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I find that I think you've hit the nail on the head with that. Was like League, that's what you're passionate about, so you stuck with it because that was the one you'd invested the time into. And I think that's the reason a lot of players stick with whatever one they play first. Is like, oh,
Yeah.
I played Dota. I've spent all this time learning about Dota. I can't imagine having to put that much mental energy into learning all about LoL as well. The people that can play both at like top tier are freaks. They're freaks of nature.
Yeah.
I don't think I've that much memory space. Like I can't do it myself. I just
will
don't have
say
the ability.
that some of the best League players actually did start off playing Dota and transitioned over. I mean, there's quite a few like the top pro players were either StarCraft players or Dota players who've transitioned into it. So you could take that, say maybe it's a simpler version, and then they freed up that space to become better at like the League, what League focuses more towards, taking away all the silly stuff that Dota does, or
I think it just
their gods.
Well, I think it just demonstrates like the top tier level of play and how they like can adapt to a game and sort of really take in the nitty gritty of everything. I mean, there's so many things to learn in those type of games, and some people are just phenomenal at doing it. So, but I mean, even the ones that came to Dota, a lot of those were Horn players, a lot of them are StarCraft players. A lot of the min-maxing and micromanagement and all that, they translate between games and between genres, I suppose. But yeah, it's impressive to see them at that level. So yeah, obviously with the player base increasing, do you think that there's anything within the community that turns away players? Like obviously we've seen, like we've talked about like what brings them in. But do you think do you think there's something about the community? We're going to say the word. I don't like to call communities toxic, but we're going to say there is a reputation out there. Not that Dota is any better. In fact, I would argue that Dota is considerably worse. But
it's just all competitive games. But yeah, League is pretty bad for it. League is I think because there's no voice chat as well. I mean, I think voice chat in League would be a terrible thing, but the typing in League is very intense. It is very much like you have to mute all to be able to play in like a lower elo for a start. If you pick like a certain champion, they'll call you like a certain, they'll describe you as a certain thing and all the rest of it. And it's, I mean, I've lent into it. I'm a bit of a toxic player when I play, but you've got to. I feel like it's the generation that I grew up with. I was like one of the Call of Duty kids who were like, screaming down the mic with the squeaky voice, getting used to that. So I feel like
you need to cool down. Like you
yeah. I've been through that community. I've been through toxic communities, so I'm adjusted to it. But I think it does turn away newer players.
Right. The problem is, Giz has been working out recently, and he's got himself all like buff. Like he's buff now. Like he thinks he's like, so he just like anything that comes along, he just bursts straight at it. It's like. It's almost impossible to crowd control him. It's terrible. But yeah, it's one of those things. So the toxic. Do you think that? Do you think that is something that really does turn away new players? Do you think like if there was a way to moderate that, like maybe if they played the game and like by default there was an auto mute or some sort of moderation for like your first 10 or 15 or 20 games until you calibrated? Do you think that would be something that would bring people in? Because there's been talks of that in other MOBAs. I'm just interested to hear your thoughts. I mean, you play at quite a high level, Zeph, like particularly compared to an idiot like myself. So, like, what do you think about that type of thing?
Well, there is like a big toxic community within League of Legends, but actually, from my perspective, it's a very minimal number. Most people want to play the game, and they're happy playing the game. Gizmo plays at a much higher level than me, so there's going to be fewer people there. So I imagine when he goes into queue, he actually will end up queuing with the same people every now and then. Whereas for me, because there's more people in the platinum area, I tend to not see anyone ever again. If I see them once, I won't see them again. But I think they do need to crack down on toxic behavior. But especially in terms of getting new players in, the thing which I think they should crack down on is this concept of Smurfs, like experienced players making new accounts just to kind of beat new people. And I don't know what's happening to them. Maybe they've lost a lot of games on their actual account, and now they just need that mental boost to go back and play on their actual account. But I think that should be one of the things which they do target if they want to bring in new players. And they've got Smurf queues, so they have done strides to that. But at least for those first 5 or 6 games, as the accounts are getting sorted, you're not going to have a good time if you're a new player, I would say.
Yeah. I mean, like, the great irony of that is, like, smurfing, the concept of it is like, that's like a war. I'm pretty sure it's named after like a Warcraft 2 player, right? Isn't that like where the term comes from?
Something really old. Yeah.
Like in the late 90s. It's like that is not just LOL. That is since this type of game.
Yeah,
it's an interesting concept to me, but yeah, there we go. I'm sure it was named after a player. I might have made up Warcraft 2. It might have been StarCraft. I don't know, but I'm sure it was named after a player. But yeah, so that's quite interesting. Obviously, we're going to need to talk about what has been drawing players in recently, which specifically has been a fantastic Netflix show, Arcane. First of all, have you all seen it?
Yes.
Yes.
I heckin' love Arcane.
Heckin' love it. Well, in that case, Giz, why don't you dive in and take the front line and tell us all about it?
Oh, but it's just they just made like they basically made it like a cinematic universe based on their game that's not actually about the game, which is what like is the best case, because it means you can get familiar with the characters, but then not be drawn to playing the game. So then they have like they have so many different games coming out based on the characters that allows them to pick and choose whatever game that they want. I think they've got like an MMO releasing, they've got like they've got TFT, they've got there's a turn-based game as well. I think there's a few other games.
The Legends of Runeterra, Valorant,
card games. Yeah, they got loads of different games coming out of this. So it's like it's a good way to get people interested in the characters' backstories, and then if you like the backstories, then maybe you'll try the games out. So it's definitely done them the world of good.
Yeah, that expanded media is certainly a bonus to the game. We may even see like larger prize pools. Who knows? Like generating income, because I think that's the only thing really, in my opinion, that has kept Dota relevant is like the large prize pools at the tournaments, these community-driven funding, like the things like the Battle Pass and what have you, for the big events like TI. And I could see like with this type of expanded media, I think the league could easily start to generate that type of revenue. So it'll be interesting to see. Go on, Giz. Take us into the next bit. Let's talk about this.
What? Which one do we want to go with? The gaming awards for the 3 years?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
this interests me because.
So League has won the gaming awards for the last 3 years. Do you guys have a reason why you think that there's a reason for this, or do you think it's just the fact that the game's like pretty inclusive and stuff? Like, we'll start off with Zephyr first. Is there a reason why you think it's won it?
Well, they've got different broadcasts all over the world, right? It's huge in many different countries, especially in China, and it's very big in Europe as well, and Korea. So those are the 3 main regions. Obviously, North America is another main region, but I think it's actually less popular there than Europe and China. One of the very big things about it is the personalities within those esports. Many of them also win awards based on their own individual talent, both at casting, at interviewing, and just being on social media in general as well. And when you get all of these like stars all coming together to create like masterpieces in their own regions, and then coming together and bringing their individual regional talents to the World's Championships, you always end up with a really good show by the end of it.
Yeah, I can't really disagree. That's going to be my point as well, is that the broadcast, especially places like the LEC when they rebranded, even the LPL is getting a lot stronger, right? They've upped their English broadcast. The LCK's been moving forward with it as well. I think it's just Riot's, I guess, kind of aim or idea. They know where they want League of Legends to be, and that's a mainstay in terms of esports. And I think they're doing the right steps to do that by building up broadcast. They're encouraging infrastructure in places like NA, where it's maybe been weak before, to try and keep it as competitive as possible. It's the same point with the patches, right? I think a lot of what they do just kind of aligns towards making sure that they're staying on top, and they just do it well.
Yeah, I think that the every 2-week patches is pretty big as well, and the fact that they are now expanding more into those minor regions, like you got the VCS, which I've casted in. You've got like the ERLs that are getting big. They did shut down the Oceania region, but they have like restarted that up somehow. But yeah, they are like really expanding outwards. Just a question we have here. If you wanted to get into League, what would you recommend? Like, what characters and modes would you start them off with?
I think ARAM's underrated. Oh, sorry.
This is interesting for me. I just want to jump in here because I can throw in a little bit of Dota experience here. If you're new to Dota, play ability single draft. Play single draft. It doesn't give you the choice of all the characters. You get 3 random heroes to choose from, and you get to pick one of those 3, and everyone's the same. It is the best way to enter a game. Does League have a similar system?
They have now.
The closest they have is ARAM.
No, they start when you redo an account now. You get Ashe, you get MF, you get Darius, Garen, and a few other champions for free now.
The Dota one's within draft, so it's like giving 3 random champions like you would in ARAM, I think.
Oh well, you get the free champion pool for League, so you get they change that every week. They change the champion pool, the free champion pool.
Yeah,
it's changed a long time since I've needed to use it.
When you first start out, they give you the same 20 champions, I think, until you hit a certain level, and then they take away those champions and put you onto the rotation, the weekly rotation.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the best way of doing it. I'll tell you why. The three hero draft. I'll tell you why single draft is the perfect way to introduce new people, because you will never fight against metas ever. Because everyone's got a different 3 random heroes they can choose from. It's normally they get 1 Agi, 1 strength, and 1 intelligence hero, because that's the way the hero pool is broken down within Dota. And you can take your pick of one of those 3. So you might end up with 5 carries on one team, or 5, but it's just to learn the mechanics of the game.
Yeah.
And I think that is perfect, because you're never going to get raffle stomped by like just someone just like shot calling like, oh, we'll just play this meta. And because it's the same 20 heroes, I bet there is their own little micro meta going on within that. And those it might be 20, but these are the ones we're going to play. And I don't think that's the best way to bring new players in. Myself personally, that's my thoughts on the matter.
Well, to be fair, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, it is like you can only get matched against people around the same level, so they only get matched between, I think it's at level 15 max before, like, for ages, and then after that, then they start to mix and match it based on, like, your playstyle versus the other people and stuff like that. So it is very much level dependent in those, like, early drafts. And you can also play against bots, which tend to be the same ones over and over to learn the mechanics. So it is somewhat easier to get into, but I feel like there is some improvement. Like before, they didn't have like the tutorial and these options to like have this sort of stuff before. So it is a newer thing.
I think now's a good time to get in as well, because my friend started playing on the back of Arcane. He's one of those. And having a look at some of his games, it's very clear that a lot of new people are in. And a couple of times that I've had Smurfs, it feels very much like, you create an account and then it's whoops all Smurfs. You'll get like 1 in every 10 that's a new player. It doesn't feel like that at the moment. Looking at his games and the kind of lobbies he's having, it feels very genuine that there's a lot of people that are new to the game playing Arcane. So I feel like now if they're able to maintain that, then it maybe gets a lot easier to get into League of Legends, because you're not being bullied by Smurfs constantly and toxicity yet.
Yeah, I'd hate to be one of those Smurfs. Oh, I hate them. Oof. Get right under my skin. Never done it myself. Never.
I am aware we need to push through, because we've got people here who need to take part in a scrim very soon. But I just want to ask one question. What's everyone's favourite hero? Champion. What's everyone's favourite champion?
It's a toss-up between Zyra and Zoe. I have a love-hate relationship with Zyra because I think she sucks, but that's why I default to Zoe these days.
But you like Zeds, that's fine, no problem. Giz, what's your favourite?
It was Pike, but because of objective bounties, he's pretty much useless now, and he just gives the other team more gold. So it has to be Thresh, and my new account name is the third best Thresh US. So a bit of an ego there, but we take it. We take it. Zephyr, what's yours?
So mine is actually a champion outside of my role, and it's a toss up between either Tarek or Braum. I really like the kind of protector peeling characters that are just there to keep other people safe, opposed to playing fit their own ego. So
I want to do a Braum cosplay at some point. I feel like that's got to be a thing. He's quite a guy. Right, do we have anything else
you want to move on to here? Cosplay.
Okay, so I think we've covered the Q&A now. I guess we're moving on to the giveaway before we have to let Zephyr go away. Do you want to take this one?
Yeah, so we have we need to plug a giveaway, an important and quite exciting giveaway from Esports Wales. There is a PS5 giveaway, which I believe we do have a graphic for. Production Pion. Fantastic. There we go. There will be a chance for you to win a brand new PlayStation 5 with the integrated SSD and M.2 drive and all sorts of wonderful things inside computers that make it work. That, I believe, is through gleam.io, which you can find on our Twitter page. If you visit Esports Wales Twitter page, there is a pinned tweet, I believe, for the gleam.io giveaway. It does not cost you money to enter. You just simply have to sign up and follow on Twitter and all the good things for a chance to win. And that is in association with the Welsh Government apprenticeship, which we shall also talk about. Giz, do you want to just mention the apprenticeship and what's going on with that?
I actually don't know what's going on with it. I have not done my research on this, so I've been thrown under the bus slightly.
I will mention the apprenticeship. No, don't worry, I will shot call on this. What's stunning everyone as I into the squishy topic. Right, and that's the last of those terms. Claire's my favorite character, by the way. Is I don't think about it. Right, the Esports Wales and a number of esports associations has teamed up with the Welsh Government apprentice scheme. If you visit them on Twitter, I believe they are at Apprentice Wales, which is a nice simple one to remember. And this is in an effort to make people make a genius decision and sign up for apprenticeships across all of Wales. There are a number that are quite interesting. Obviously, people have different goals in career and what they can get into, but there's one which caught my eye, which I had a look at, which I think ties in quite neatly because it is actually held at the Gower College, which is one of the premier university esports teams at the moment, the Owls. But there is an apprenticeship at the moment in video editing, which I think is quite fascinating. You'll be able to work quite closely with within the esports community and work yourself towards a level 4 diploma in interactive media, which I think is the key for apprenticeship schemes. They're a very good way, sort of outside of the university route, for you to earn some money, get some real world experience, but also work towards qualifications, normally NVQs or diplomas, that will help you in the world of work once you do eventually qualify from your course. I think Giz is you've only got 5 or 7 years left on your 18-year course, however long you've been bloody studying for.
I've got 1 week left. 1 week. Okay, and then I'm going back to do a master's next year.
It's almost as if I knew that and I brought that up specifically just to plug it for you, isn't it?
Thanks, man. Thanks.
1 week to go. Good luck. Don't mess it up between now and then. But yeah, that's the apprenticeship scheme. Again, you can find that on a pinned tweet on the Esports Wales Twitter page. Other than that, do you want to just plug your guys' Twitters? Have we got a graphics for that? Have we sorted that out? Probably not, huh? Follow Brett on Twitter. Just type it in. It'll be fine. Follow
Brett Wilson casts.
I'm sure Esports Wales follows.
I cast occasionally. Fine. Yeah, we're in the network somewhere.
Fantastic. And Zephyr, what's your Twitter handle? Let's have people following you.
That's just at it's Zephyr, Zeifyr. I don't really post anything, just a few memes every now and then.
That's fine. That's all. That's all we need. That's all we want. But
you also catch me arguing with the balance team every now and then.
Important things. I mean, it's fantastic. Thank you so much for coming on, guys. I'm sorry we had to run through things a little bit quick, but that's just the way these things go with tech sometimes. Good luck with everything going forward. We'd love to have you back on the show at some point so we can talk about some results. And yeah, we'll see. We'll see a couple of months down the line what happens with League and all the rest of it. I have been Smicko1989, my co-host. Down here.
Yeah, I've been Gizmo. Thank you for watching. I mean, this has been a fun game, fun day. Oh my god, I'm so tired. Just going out.
How do we always end the show, Giz? Come on, you do it this time.
Oh, it's the weather report time, guys.
It's the weather report time, guys.
So what's the weather like with you guys? Brett, what's the weather like?
Dark. It's I haven't actually looked. I've had my curtain down the entire time. It's probably cold.
Yep. Zephyr, I'm with you.
I'm pretty sure that it's good weather here right now. Obviously dark. It's just quite late at night, but fingers crossed I might be able to go out in Cardiff later.
That's important. That's important for me. It's dark and dingy as well. It's terribly cold outside, and I think it's about to snow in like a couple of days. So absolutely terrible.
Oh,
Tom.
I haven't got a window. You know that, Giz. There's no window in this room. I couldn't possibly tell you what the weather's like. But I just want to point out that apparently no student knows. Dark is not a weather formation. It is a time of the day. But other than that, thank you so much for joining us. Free swim. Free swim,
you say
guys.
it's bright and sunny?